Camera B. Alright, let's see how this on? Sweet. Okie dokie. So cat. Here we go. I feel like I want to just get this over on the side here. I think that's pretty good. Wait, camera A? Camera A? Oh, sick. Alright. I don't think I'll be able to tell. Maybe I can get the Instagram feed up on my other camera here. Oh yeah, look at that. That works. Okay, so this got to go in the bottom corner. And then we got to get the chat in this top right. Come on. And then we got to do this over here. And then, oh, we don't have the cat. And then everything else goes on top of the cat. There we go. There we go. Oh, perfect. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to, I think I'm good. Let's just start throwing. Got the music. Alrighty. Ooh. Yeah. Alright, camera C. Camera C. Look at that. Alrighty, I think now, what do we need to do now? Wait, we gotta go to camera A. Camera A. Now is big screen. Ooh. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, I'm still a little bit see-through. Dang. But you guys get the idea, right? Wait, maybe in camera B I'm better. Camera B. Camera B. Oh, I'm not even visible on camera B. Alright, let's go back to camera. Alright, camera A. Camera A. Alright. So we're just gonna keep on cruising here. I don't even know if y'all can hear me if you're watching. But I'm trying to do two things. I'm streaming to both like YouTube vertically and Instagram vertically. I'm trying to have both chats up while also having the, what is it even called? Also recording, right? So I can turn some of the content into like short format videos in a little bit. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna get into the throwing here in a second, but before we do that, let's wheel. Yes. Yes. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed that. That's kind of cool, right? Anyway, camera C. All right, hold on, I gotta pause between my voice. Jarvis, camera C, please. All right, dang it, I ruined it, I said please. Camera C, camera C. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take you guys on a little journey with me. Oh no, I just kicked the camera. Dang it. All right, we'll see how much it messed it up in a second. But underneath my table here, I got a little wet box, and I got some clay. And again, all this clay is way too hard to throw with, but you reap what you sow, so I have to deal with that now. Alrighty. Oh yeah, you can see my chat at the bottom. That's so funny. Alright. This seems like it might be too hard. We'll wedge some stuff and we'll see how it goes. You know, guys, like I feel like that's kind of an important, this feels a little bit softer, but we'll wedge it. You can see I'm out now, but I just got a bunch more clay today, so that's exciting. I don't like to keep the boxes around. The boxes drive me crazy. So in the meantime, look, there's no more plants in our little wet box. Ow, I hit the camera, but that's okay. Okay, well, you guys are gonna stick with me over here. Sorry if this light is a little bit too bright. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. All right, I'm gonna start wedging, and this clay is just so hard. It does not wanna be wedged normally. So you're gonna see me doing some janky wedging. It's kinda nice with soft clay, but with hard clay, what can you do? But I feel like hard clay is all about front loading the work, right? If you front load what you're doing, it'll make like the throwing a little bit easier at the end of the day. What is that? Somebody has some boxes on the screen. It's kind of cool. Alright. Alright, I can't get too distracted. That's one thing I need to work on for my setup now, because currently my setup is like, I don't know, it's kind of, it's not conditioned around streaming, so I don't really have, I have to squint to look at the camera screen to see if anybody's typing. Part of me wants to wedge this big chunk. We'll see how it goes. This is just a brick. It's really just allowing my body to take the weight of wedging this. There'll probably be some air bubbles in, but I kind of want to throw with the hard stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. We'll just keep it wedged up in case we mess up, and we'll have an extra. Alright, here we go. I guess in the meantime, what I can do for you guys is camera A. Why is this playing? Hey! You're not supposed to be playing right now. I'll play a commercial for you guys while I wedge. So watch this. Goated 1.
What do you know? What the hell do you actually know about me, huh? Nothing! I'll tell you what kind of man I really am. I have no strength, and I want it all. I have no knowledge, but all I do is breathe. There's nothing I can do but try to obey like an idiot.
Alright, so now we got the clay all wedged up. I'm gonna get I gotta watch out for that thing. It always gets stuck in my headset. I already got the water for us. But since I make all those like little music videos, I thought it'd be such a cool idea to turn them into little commercials for you guys. Alright, somebody said something. So cool, love your setup. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, the audio's not playing? No! Oh. SZA made. I've been trying to figure that out. So you can't hear that audio then. That's such a shame. I wonder if it's like it's just like a random video that what is it called? I made. But I wonder, since there's music, I wonder if it automatically gets like copyright struck or something. Let's see. No, I mean, where did you sample it from? Oh, it was. Oh, thank God. Where's the audio from the commercial? You know what, to be honest, I just look up my feed for my YouTube is like it's like a bunch of like funk music. And so what I do is I end up just like taking one of the songs from there. If you look, I wonder where oh, I gotta watch out for this. This thing is wanting to turn off here. I gotta make sure I turn that camera off because it's not battery operated. But yeah, I just look up like random funk music for a majority of my things. If you have, I guess, I don't even know what it's called. Do you have Shazam? If you Shazam it, I bet you'd find it. But a lot of it, I guarantee you, if you typed in like funk 2024 best playlist, you'd find like a majority of the songs that I use. I don't know why, I've been really into that stuff recently. Okay, so all we're doing is we're just centering and coning up the clay here. And the clay is stiff, and so when the clay is really stiff, it's also very short. And so it's gonna wanna rip and break and bend, and it's not gonna wanna be your friend. And so you can't go too crazy with it, you know? But it's all about being a little bit slow, calm, cool, collected, and most importantly, focused, right? Usually, you know, it doesn't really matter, like, about your strength, because you can use a lot of your body weight. Like right now my elbow is just locked into my body there, right? And so it's not really about this, like your strength, as much as it is about using that body weight that you have, right? And so here we are going down on top of it. And here I'll switch to camera B. Look at that, so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Here, does that look like it's in focus? Hold on, let me check this real quick. Yeah, it looks okay. Oh yeah, you can see the cat. The cat this whole time, guys, had a knife. He had a knife. Sorry, guys. The cat had a knife. I wanted that to be a little bit of a secret, but you guys gotta see I think it's kind of funny, like, people join like, oh, this cute cat in the back. And then all of a sudden it's just like this demon cat with a knife. But here we are, we're centering the clay right now. And if you look at my hands, camera C. All right, so if you look at my hands here, I'll try to do a good example. Is like imagine this is like the sun, right? And imagine there's a horizon on there, right? You see how you can only see that like little top of that circle there? That's what your hand is pushing on that circle, while you take your other hand here, your fist, right? And it's like a chainsaw, rip, rip. But you're being pretty slow with it, actually. And so you're bringing that along your hand towards the end of your palm. And if you're slow and if your hand is sturdy, usually you can get it pretty much centered. I mean, that's definitely within tolerance of throwing. But camera B, there we go. And so there we go. Got some stuff cooking up here. And then I'm gonna take my finger here, and I always say, like, this is a pond, right? You can't have your tadpoles dry out, right? They need some water, right? So I add a little bit of water. And sometimes I use my fingers, sometimes I use your thumb, you know. But you're gonna kind of gauge your thickness. I don't trim the bottoms of my pots, so I go pretty close to the bottom. And you can see what I'm doing is it's not perfectly centered on the inside here, and the clay's pretty hard. So what am I doing is I'm taking this edge down to try to make the hole like a little bit more even before I start pulling this out, right? And when you pull this out, you gotta invoke your inner Captain Hook, right? Captain Hook had the one hand with the hook, right? And when you're pulling this clay out, it's not really about moving large chunks of clay, right? You don't want to move this whole chunk. Imagine it's like layers of a cake, right? You're trying to just move that bottom layer of that cake with your fingertips, not your finger pads, right? You almost want to feel like you're scratching against the chalkboard here, and you'll see it just really easily, make sure I have some water, really easily wants to just come right out and hang out, you know what I mean? And so I feel like a lot of people, they struggle with keeping it on center when they open up their pots. Try to cut through the clay instead of trying to move this whole big chunk of clay, right? It's not worth it. Use less energy. Okay, I'm pushing this down, and look at this. Look at that. Okay, so now we're ready, and I'm gonna bring out the little, you guys ever see Happy Llama, Sad Llama? Happy Llama. So you bring out your Happy Llama, he's biting right on this edge here, right? And somebody said something. Do you work with kids? You've got a lot of good references associated with throwing posture. I work with all age groups. You know, it's funny, I feel like the kids, they don't really like my references. I feel like they think they're like weird, but the adults actually like my references more. But you have your little happy llama, and then you're just bringing that happy llama up to make your volcano, right? That's all you need in pottery is to get your volcano going. And once you get your volcano, everything else is smooth sailing. Just kidding, it's not smooth sailing. But it helps out quite a bit. In this part, I'm gonna take my knuckle here, and I'm gonna swap to, hold on, camera C. There we go. And so you can see my knuckle, right, is going right on this bottom edge. I'm slowly pushing that in, because this is all potential. We don't want to cut that all off, right? That's all potential right there, and we want to get as much height out of this lump of clay as we can. So I'm bringing my knuckle, and I'm pushing my interior finger along my knuckle, and this first pull is not about getting height, right? This first pull here, that's all about getting the clay equalized, right? If the clay is nice and equal, you're going to be setting up yourself for some good pulls later on. But we'll see how we do. All right, camera B. There we go. Back to camera B here. And here I am going to the bottom, pushing this down. And you can see I'm pushing this little lump of clay down here, right? This is the stuff that most people would trim off, right? But I'm just separating that down because usually we're not perfect humans for centering, right? And so whatever's off-centered, I push down and I start a new centered ring to bring up from the bottom here. And so I pop that out, and I always say this little bump here is a gift. It's a gift from the clay. And it wants you to take that little gift all the way to the top of the pot here, right? And so you're right underneath that, and you just slowly carry that little gift up to the top, and the pot is so happy. You know, it just is, it's really, really cool. Oh, somebody else said something. What did they say? So cool, love your set. Oh, somebody said that a long time ago, I think. Thank you, whoever that was. Oh yeah, I'm coloring this up a little bit. Sorry, I got a little too into the music here. All right, again, you know, I'm just coloring that up so it's more of like a steep volcano. And so the key to cylinders is just making a bunch of volcanoes and then slowly bringing that little hill at the bottom in, create your little bump. And look at this, it's our friend. All right, and we gotta be pretty focused here. Very slow, right? And this is where you get to have the breath of your pole baked into the pots, right? All those little throwing lines that you see, that's all you just being baked into the pots there, right? A lot of people like to get rid of that stuff with like a wooden tool. Not me. I like to show it off a little bit, right? That's me right there. Okay. So if I'm looking at this pot, I see a couple of problems that I'm running into. I'm way too thin on the top here. My rim is a little bit thicker. Somebody said something. Let's see what they said. How long have you been throwing? Are you an instructor? If so, how long have you been teaching? Oh, that's a hard question. I've been throwing for 5 years. But I have been like really throwing for 3, right? The first 2 years I feel like I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so it was kind of me coping with how I didn't do drawing anymore. So I wanted to find something else. And then how long have I been teaching? I've been teaching now for almost a year. But I'm still working on it. I'm not the best teacher. I feel like I'm more of a maker than I am a teacher right now. But I think sometimes a lot of people get teachers that aren't makers, and so I think I'm a good foil to that line of teaching, right? Okay, so here we go. I gotta really get in the rhythm here. I gotta feel my own beat. I gotta feel the rhythm of the clay. You gotta breathe. Okay, and whatever you do once the clay, if you want to exaggerate it, you got to emphasize. You got to give it a little bit of, you know. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to guide where I want it to collapse. Since it's thinner on the top, I'm going to push in these little angles here. So then I stretch that clay out so it's more likely to want to collapse kind of more towards this middle area, right? And so that's all I'm doing is I'm just emphasizing. I gotta go a little bit more forceful on this spot here. There we go. All right, and so here we go. Let's see. Why don't I draw anymore? Oh, such a sad story. I don't draw anymore because I don't know, I think when I first started, I went to art school, you know, and I wanted to be like an animator. I'm a big time video game player, and I wanted to animate video games. And there was one day when I went to go choose my major, and I was looking at all the animation students, and I was just like, dang, that's not for me, right? Here, we gotta slow down here. Little tree. Kind of twisted a little bit too tall still. That's okay, we don't want to bend it anymore. But I knew I just couldn't do it. I didn't have faith in myself at that point. And then I went over to the drawing department and I got really into charcoal and how I'm all over, like clay all over myself. I got freaking charcoal all over myself. And then there was one time where I finished one of my best drawings probably, and I looked down and I just was like, I just felt like so unsatisfied. I was like, could I really do this for the rest of my life? You know? And I called my dad, and my dad was like, I got the perfect fix for you. And he sent me Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry, right? And I was just like, all right, I gotta quit drawing. I gotta find something else. And so then I was like, I picked up ceramics, and I was like, well, you know what, I can do it all day, and I don't get burned out, so I might as well just go all the way. And so that's kind of how I quit drawing and got into ceramics. All right, anyway. I got a new, look at this, I got a new toy for us. All right, camera C. Camera C. Look at this, I got a new toy. Because if you look at my old wire, it has like this freaking, look at that. Oh, can you guys see that? Look, it has a bend. It's so depressing. I hate the bend. And so, today I was up getting new clay, and I was like, all right, you know what, I might as well get some new, what is it called? A new little wire tool. I'll spoil myself with a new little Mud Tools wire tool. Look at that. What if I instantly bent it right away? But look at that. You can't even see it. It's like fishing line. So nice. So then when I cut, oh, wait. Camera A. No, not this one again. I gotta turn off I gotta learn how to turn that off as I do it. Okay. Alright, so here we are. Actually, I'll go camera C. Camera C. Look at this. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm down at this bottom part, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I gotta get a good angle here. So I want to go. Do I even want to cut this one? This one doesn't even get a cut. I was so excited to bring the wire out, but I couldn't even cut it. So depressing. Oh well. This one gets a double bump, in and out, right? In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. All right, camera B. So there's number one, guys. Here you go. Sweet. Let's go over here. Alrighty, we got another little bat ready to be thrown with. Let's see what we got going on. Ooh, 6 setup, bud. Thank you so much. And somebody said clay is really satisfying, though. Yeah, you know, I think a lot of people, they think clay is like peaceful, but for me, like clay is like an all-out war on the wheel, right? And it's like the most honest thing that you'll find in the world is like the battle that you have with clay, right? Like you can't, when a pull is bad, it's hard to gaslight yourself into thinking that it's like it's a good pull, you know? Where I think with a lot of other ways of making work, you know, there's some things that are very up to interpretation, so you can get away with a lot within your own practice, right? But I like to really be a little bit more like brutal with what is happening on the wheel, because I really think that it's more valuable to me when I struggle to get a pot rather than when it just is, you know, happening. All right, push this down. All right, here we go. So I'm doing this, and so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it as close to center as possible, right? Before I even start to throw with it, right? Okay. It's not centered at all, but you can see what I mean. It's in the general shape. If you're starting throwing with this all over here and it's like a huge chunk, I don't even know. Somebody said, Mr. Noah. No way. Maybe that's one of my students. I don't know. It's kind of cool. But if you're starting throwing and you're all the way over here, that's like a no-go. Like, you don't want to start throwing while it's already off center. You want to get it kind of centered before you even start. Somebody said another thing. Amen to its satisfying battle. Yeah, for real. Does your cat have a knife? Yeah, he does got a knife. Look at him, dude. He's dangerous, bro. You gotta watch out for this cat. Hold on, guys. I'll protect this from the cat. All right. Anyway, here we go. So I'm centering that, and this clay is so hard, right? And you can see it's wanting to actually rip instead of move. And so that's the problem with that clay. So what you're gonna wanna do when the clay's hard though, is you wanna keep your hands kind of down at a 45 as you're getting up taller. Because you wanna almost, it's like, you ever watch Cars and it's like you gotta go left to go right. In the same way, for clay, you gotta push down to go up, right? And so you can see my hands are kind of splayed downward to keep that kind of contained and keep that pressure down, or else you're just gonna rip it off, right? Ooh, and as I'm pushing down here, I'm cupping these hands. I'm keeping that up, you know, so I can push this up. All right, let's see. Who's this? Jacqueline, remember me. There's a couple of Jacquelines, so I'm not sure. Probably. If I saw your face, I definitely would. Okay, again, we're up at the bottom. Here we go. Ooh! Oh! So you can see when clay's hard, it wants to rip. And so I'm gonna do the sacrilegious thing where, like, if you did this, your pottery teachers would be like, no, don't do it, the air bubbles, right? But I'm just gonna smash that back on, and I'm gonna go back down and push up. I was getting a little bit too excited about the clay there. There we go. Nice, there we go. All right, I gotta be chill. I'm trying to fill up the space on the screen with the wedging there, or the wheel wedging, the centering. Go up a little bit and down a little bit. Nice. Okay. Now we're gonna get our fist, and when the clay is a little bit too hard, don't be afraid to just literally push your body on top of it, right? Use all of your body weight to help you out, especially when the clay is really stiff. And again, I'm bringing that hand here towards my palm of this hand across, and that's how I'm getting that center. Look at that. Like glass, like a little hockey puck. Where did I go to art school? I went to the Cleveland Institute of Art. The best place ever. I actually quite like, they have like a really good facilities, so if you're ever thinking about, like, you know, they actually do, they're pretty on top of their game with, I think, their curriculum and stuff. But if you're like really want to go to a place for good facilities, like the ceramics department there, the glass department there, the jewelry and metals department, they got a full wood shop. I mean, they got some pretty amazing facilities. Okay, so here I am, I'm pushing this down. I'm looking at down here. I should kind of switch the camera maybe. All right, camera B, or no, I'm already at camera B. Camera C. Okay, and so here we are. I'm pushing my hands out through the bottom. Again, I'm using my fingertips, not my finger pads, to cut that clay. I'm literally cutting that bottom layer, and it's all wanting to just rest right on top of it. Alrighty. Look at that. Nice. right? And I do a little, that was a bad one, hold on. We want to get a good spiral on here. Okay. Look at that. Nice. Okay. Good stuff. Last couple months. Can't believe you're already at 4,000 subs. You were at 2K when I saw you a couple weeks ago. Oh, I inspired you to. Oh, so sweet. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do remember. Do you have black hair? Maybe, I'm not. Yeah, thank you. You know, recently I had one of my videos. It went like bonkers crazy. You have something. I wish you were in my community. Said he'd come visit Detroit community studio. That's so funny. You know, I'm in Detroit. So, even though I went to school, I'm in Detroit right now. So that is kind of cool. But yeah, I had one of my videos. It like really popped off. It went like on one of my YouTube shorts. It got like 2.2 million views on it. You know. And so I got a lot of new subscribers from that one video, which is pretty nice. But also, you know, like you got to be careful. You can't let that viewership like get to your head, because you know once the subs stop gaining from that, you know, like you're back to where you were before you even posted it. You know, the job's not finished, right? Like you still got to keep on cruising even when you don't have the motivation, right? The views, that's all just motivation, but motivation, it comes and it goes. Whoa. All right, and again, oh, I gotta switch this. So, camera B, look at that. All right, sweet. What did they say? Let's hang out. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm like, I don't really, my social life, I've designated to this online stuff, if that makes sense. I kind of gave up on like going out places just so I can keep on doing this, right? Like right now, this doesn't really get me any money. Like, and it's not all about the money, right? Obviously, but I got to do a lot of other things to get money, and so like doing this is already a lot of work for me to do. But if I see you around, you know, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if you go to any of the galleries and stuff, but for now I'm just really trying to focus on getting my stuff together. Ooh, I gotta slow this down. A little bit too thin on the bottom there. You can see it getting wobbly. And as I'm getting closer to the top, you see I'm slowing down, and I'm also increasing the over-under, right? My S-curve there, I'm really increasing how far I'm pushing out and how far I'm pushing in there. And that's what's getting me like a good pull, right? Sometimes when you go lit up too much, I see it all the time, people will be very use their pads of their hands, and they get to the top, and then all of a sudden they're kicking the top off. You gotta be really nice and direct with it, or else it's not gonna, you know, work out well. All right, here I go. So I'm pushing this again on the bottom. Getting in the breath. Okay, so we got a good 5-star here. Okay, and we always want to emphasize, so I'm getting a little bit of water on my finger there, and I'm pushing that in. I'm stressing out that clay. Nice, look at that. And so that way, I got a little bit more thickness in this middle part, so hopefully it does a good spiral here. We'll see in a second. I call this my spider pull. A little bit outward. Look at that. And then make sure we go very nice and slow on this top edge. Kiss that rim right there with your fingers. Look at that. So you can see it's starting to spin out. This one kind of almost looks like a UFO a little bit, right? And so here I am. This one I think I have enough clay to cut, so hopefully I can do that. Because right now when I'm looking at this one isn't very interesting on this top part, right? It's kind of more numb, it's rounded off. It's like, what is this one? The demon is live. Oh yeah. But yeah, Cranbrook. Pull but slow, kiss the rim. I guess that is kind of funny. Oh yeah, look at my knife cat. This knife cat. But here we are. And so I'm down at the bottom here. I'm pushing this out ever so slightly. And I think, right, now I have enough length on this bottom edge for me to come right up underneath there. But you can see, like, this form to me, it's like too uniform. The 5 is actually really nice, like, especially from the interior. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Jarvis, camera seat. Camera seat. There we go. All right, let me wipe my hands all over my pants and get my flashlight here. So you can see, I got a flashlight. But you see how it's like a nice like 5-star on the inside there. It's a good little vortex. I think that's kind of cool. But again, if we go to camera B, you can see how it just looks numb. It looks a little bit lazy. It looks like it's half-baked. You know, there's still some added potential, and that's where this bottom edge for me became a whole new avenue to play around with. I gotta do one more pull, I think. I don't think this is long enough. We gotta be careful. We don't want to add too much water, or else you're gonna end up oversaturating it. You're gonna get hydration fissures. That's what I call those things. It's when it's not cracking because it's like too much clay, it's crack, or too much water, it's cracking because you're just overhydrating the clay. All right, camera C. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna cut along this bottom edge, and I wanna do kind of like a cut that's a little bit more meaty, so I can get some of these tendrils up the sides of the pot, right? So here we go. So I'm gonna go 1, cut, 2, cut. And that's okay if our fingers hit. We just are really trying to get these tendrils a nice medium size. Oh, nice, a Noah hair in there too. Somebody on one of my videos, they're like, put your hair back. They said, put your hair back. Nobody wants your hair in their product. And I just couldn't help but laugh. But camera A. Let's see what people's got over here. I'm not sure what language you're speaking, Joe X Gifts, but thank you so much. I hear the clap, so I appreciate it. But yeah, somebody was talking about the hair that was getting caught in the clay as I was throwing. I just couldn't help but laugh a little bit because I think they just didn't understand that like any hair that's in the clay is just gonna burn out during the firing process. But I don't think they really knew that, and I didn't want to be like actually, you know, it doesn't matter, you know. So I just told them to look up horsehair raku, which I thought was like a clever response to somebody maybe being a little bit upsetty spaghetti. Which, if they don't want hair in their clay, they definitely don't want that, right? Or in their pots. All right, so here we are. We got the little tendrils, and look at how much this adds to the pot. All right, camera B. Camera B. All right, look at that, right? I think that's just crazy. Hold on. We gotta add a little bit of spice up in here. All right, guys, hold on 1 second. Camera on. Green screen on. Alrighty. So the Pottery Demon moseys on over here. Sorry, I'm still a little bit transparent. I haven't had my enough to eat today, so I'm a little bit light. But you can see, look at this. This is my pot. That's my cat. That's not really my cat. But I like this middle section. It's okay. Like I said, this top section, it's a little bit numb. Feels still numb. But if we go down to the bottom here, like this is where the juice is at, guys. Like this for me, that changes the whole dynamic. And now, you know, sometimes, like if you're looking at, like, you know, I had an artist, Linda Sanchez, right? She said, I was like, wouldn't it be beautiful if you made like everything out of like gold, like you could work with a lot of gold? And she's like, no, Noah. like a one speck of gold in like a swarm of other things means something, right? One little speck can change depending on how much quantity there is, right? And so in the same way, I've been thinking a lot about, okay, well, if this feels a little bit numb, I can add something at the bottom to complete the pot, right? And so that's been how I've been kind of thinking about, well, I gotta go off this way. But that's how I've been thinking about pottery, like using her mentality. I thought it was just such a beautiful little like way to think about material. But okay, so we're gonna get rid of the green screen. As I get over there, I'm gonna show you guys a little something. How about Goated 6.
For many years, I had a dream, forever mine, my little queen. Your lips for me, like nicotine, and in my head, din din din. Yes, baby, yes, I'm romantic and jackass. Yes, baby, yes, if you want, just kick my ass. Yes, baby, yes, I'm romantic and jackass. Yes, baby, yes, for you, shot glass. Wake up, my heart, wake up, my blood, wake up, my love, wake up, wake up, wake up, my heart, wake up, my blood, wake up, my love, wake up, my heart, my blood, my love, for you, for you.
All right, so we're back now. You can hang out with the cat. So I gotta add a plugin where whenever that video ends, it stops the video and it like clicks it off, because when I switch scenes, right? Like when I switch to camera B, right? When I switch to camera B and I would go back to the first camera, all of a sudden it would play that video again because it still is representing on. So like when the voice command only turns on that scene rather than allowing it to like, what's the word? Allowing it to turn off after it's done. I haven't figured that out, but it seems like I might have to do a plugin. So somebody asked, what is your thought about closing the form on the top? I've tried it a couple times. There's been some that I got pretty close. I have closed some of them, but I think the thing is like, for me, the rim of the pot, like I like when it holds the tension of the pot, right? You'll see like a lot of the like old school potters, when they make these giant pots, they'll cut the rim with a needle tool and the whole piece will fall apart. It's all being held together by the rim. And so I really like the idea of the rim being this like thing that unifies, the thing that frames the interior, that swirl. I don't think you got to see any of those, maybe not, but hold on, I'll go over. All right. Camera C. So if you come over here, you can see my little swarm of them right now. So you can see in some of them, right? Like, let's see. Yeah, you can see like a bunch of them. Like, I like this rim almost acting as like a framing device for this spiral that's happening on the interior there. Like for me, that's something that I really like. So I don't think I want to close them just yet. Some of them maybe, right? Maybe it's would have a good conversation with what's going on, but for now, I think I'm gonna keep that what is it called thing. All right, so camera A. Oh wait, somebody else said something. I gotta do more throwing and not enough talking. How interesting, totally makes sense. Okay, yeah, cool. I'm glad you, yeah. All right, so here we are pushing this down again. And I bring it up to my hand, and there I am. I'm pushing it right against the palm, right? And so we hear it right on the bottom. So we can rip it a little bit. Let's see. We're testing the thickness here. Okay. Catch the little thing, right? Isn't that kind of cool? I thought that was neat. I don't know. When the clay's not hard, you can do that, and it looks freaking crazy. You can bend it all the way out to here. I think I have a really cool video of me doing that, but it's not in my Goated series of commercials. So hopefully one day I can show y'all that one, but we'll see. Again, we're having our hand right up on the bottom here. Hold on, Jarvis, camera B. Thank you. I mean, I'm telling you, it's never gonna get old. The freaking voice commands that I have, like, all this stuff all over my fingers, I feel like it's just so nice. All right, taking some of that off that bottom rim there. And here we are, we're opening up this clay. Jarvis, camera C. There we go. So you can see, just making a little 2 divots, right? That's our pond. And our pond, you know, little tadpoles in there, a little water, right? I feel like the salt guy, you know, the guy who's like putting salt down his elbow. That's what it makes me feel like whenever I do that. And now we can push our thumbs down, in, right? And then we're here, we're gonna whip out our freaking Captain Hook, you know, claw. And we're trying to push our fingers towards that bottom center and get our thickness gauged there, right? I'm also feeling the clay. I'm feeling that there's some hard parts that I gotta cut through. And so this isn't gonna be a perfect centered thing. You can already see how much it's kicked off, but watch how I sort of address this, right? So here we go, fingers on this bottom edge, and I'm cutting through. I'm keeping my hand down, I'm keeping that bottom pressure. And so all of a sudden, now I'm gonna go back to the center point, and I'm gonna hit some of the spots that kick me off center, and I'm gonna bring those in and out and just massage them down into the wall of your pot. Sometimes if it's really bad, you can go towards the center and cut it all off, but the clay is all there, you know, I just need to get it really back aligned, right? And this will be a good example for people who, like when we're thinking about how throwing works, right? A lot of people, they'll tell you like it's not even worth it if it's not centered, right? Well, this isn't very centered, okay? Get this down, but I'll show you guys how we do this. So we're gonna take our little llama, happy llama, boop, 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 guys, and we're down at the bottom edge here. And I've created this little undercut on the inside and an undercut on the outside. And watch, camera B. Okay, so here we go. And that's all I'm doing. I'm taking that llama and I'm slowly, very slowly, because the clay is hard and uneven, I'm bringing this edge in, right? And look at that. I still have some off-centered stuff on this top here. So when I do this first pull, I gotta be really focused that I don't go ripping around on that and I like move past it and create a channel past it. I really wanna catch it and bring it to the top to release it out into the ether there, right? So here we are, knuckle on the bottom again. Okay, I'm pushing my knuckle in towards my finger. Oh, I went way too thin. Oh no. Bad news, guys. Bad news. But anyway, you can see how we still, you know, it's not perfectly centered on the top here. You can see a little bit of wobble, but it's way better than where it was a second ago. Okay, so now I gotta be chill. Or else we're gonna have to throw again, which that'd be okay too. But here we are at this bottom edge. I'm pushing this down, and we gotta be super slow on this bottom rim here, because this is where it all starts. You don't wanna mess up the starting point, because then you're just gonna struggle everywhere else. And you can see I'm not doing a really big bump. Look at that bump. It's really small actually, but I'm generating a lot of force in between my fingers, and as I get to the top, I'm gonna release a little bit because I'm thinner there, right? And kind of focus on that rim just a little bit more because I was getting thicker on that rim. So that way, you know, like throwing is not just when you're first starting, you want it to just be, try to get that motion down, right? But throwing in reality, it's really about, like listening to what it's saying. Sometimes it's like, yo bro, I'm thin up here, chill out, man. Or sometimes you're at the bottom and you're like, hey dude, like I'm pretty thick down here, bro, you gotta put some more energy down here. You know, you really gotta listen to like the things that the clay is saying. I know it sounds kind of weird, but also I don't really have a lot of like my slip is like, or my water is like not water. So that's one problem. I always like to, I just have water instead of slip water. And so here I'm gonna kind of get that inside like nice and wet so my fingers don't get caught. But again, here we are at the bottom, and we're kicking out this little bump very slowly. We're just banking it out right on top of our fingers here. And there we go, we got our bump situated. And like a slug going to find its next meal, right? Look how slow we're going on this hard clay here. Oh. Okay, we gotta get a little bit more water. We can stop right here. Nothing's stopping us from saying, hey, we need a little bit of a pit stop here to fuel up for the rest of the pole. And again, we're right up underneath of our fingers. And I always thought that this, to me, kind of reminds me of like carving irrigation for your corn farm or something. You know, like you got to plow those like ravines to fill up with water so it can hydrate your crops better. In the same way, you got to position your hands almost like a ravine, so then your fingers can actually, you know, guide that clay in the same way it would like be like the water to fuel the farm. You know, your hands in the right place are going to fuel the clay to be the pot. I don't really know if that totally makes sense, but that's me trying to explain it with a corn farm reference. Okay, here we are at the bottom, guys. All right, here we go. Dun, dun. Okay. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. Here we go. We're gonna go. We don't want to go too tall because we want to still have it some space to buckle out on the top, but we do want to make sure we're going in these, I call them the veins of the tree, right? We're going to go inside the veins here and really get them a little bit more wet, a little bit thinner, so then it wants to collapse more at that bottom, right? And I feel like that gets like the best types of forms. And then here we go. Oh wait, somebody asked me another question. All right, let's see what they said. I have to go to work now, but have a fun throw. Let me know if you ever want another pottery friend in Detroit to check out a gallery with. Oh, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. I hope you have a nice time at work. All right, here we go. Getting back to it. Breathe. Spider pole. And when the clay is hard, it's going to want to really collapse where it's thin there. But as our hands are slowly pulling this rim out, let's have some fun with it, right? Just skate our fingers along that rim there. So now you have a nice little tree. And so you can even see, like, here, camera C, right? Look at how round this is, right? That's like perfectly, I could fit a jar or a lid here. I've always thought about doing that. I haven't done that yet. But I imagine just a nice lid that just hangs out in there, right? And what a surprise that would be to pull the lid off and see that interior. I think it'd be crazy. Some people said it looked like the Dune bucket from the movie Dune. That made me laugh so hard. Oh my gosh. All right, camera B. Okay, wait, somebody else said something. Let's see what they said. I think it doesn't make total sense to me, but maybe that's because I'm from mid-Atlantic suburbs. That's so funny. Yeah, sorry, the irrigation. I feel like there's I don't know if you ever said something and you in your head you're like, oh, that makes total sense, and then all of a sudden you hear it and you're like, all right, I gotta put that one back in the fridge for a little bit and let it marinate for a little bit longer, you know. So one day I hope I can say it and then you'll be like, oh, you know, that it finally made sense, yo. Oh, look at that. So we got a little chunk come off there. That's not good. Just the chunks on the bottom. And this is another one where we can't do too much with on this bottom edge. So that's a little bit of a shame. But we are going to try to get our hands as wet as possible here, just so we can pull this little wall up here, right? And this is what I found is like everybody like, that's the extra thickness on the bottom. Cut it off, cut it off. Like that's what trimming is, like one of the reasons for trimming, right? It's getting rid of some of that thickness. But me, yo, no. We don't cut this off. This right here, that's potential. And we're going to see what we can do with it, right? And so when I'm looking at this pot, I actually think this one also gets tendrils, but I want to do a little bit better of a job on this one. And like always, we wipe our hands all over our pants here. Okay. Down at the bottom, we got our little wire tool here. Okay. Wrapping our fingers around. Camera C. Thank you. Okay, so here we are. We gotta be pretty careful here. Okay. I'm gonna get in a good angle here. We want to get long tendrils. We're gonna go for 4, right? right, camera B. Camera B. There we go. Look at that. Waiting for you. By my side. That's all we need each other. What's wrong, but we need each other. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna have these. Look at these things. So I have these two tendrils, right? And to me, look at them. They're coming around, and they can interact with each other. That's what I think. When like so many people, when they're making pots, you're making a vessel, right? Like I'm not trying to make just vessels all day. Like for me, like that right there, that interaction that happens on form when we use these words like neck and like the foot of the pot or the belly of the pot, right? And we give it so much human qualities, but we never let it interact with itself, right? We never give it life. And so to me, I think that's really where I want to like take pottery, and that's like my life goal, I think, is to discover like how I'm gonna find life on the wheel, you know, with all my creations I make, right? Look at that one, guys. Ooh, we're gonna go over here. For you to call me, one by my side, fall asleep. Oh, dang it! Sorry, guys. I gotta turn this on. My bad. We're gonna do a little commentary with Knife Cat in the background. All right, Knife Cat, what do you think, bro? You told me you thought it was the best one of the day. This Knife Cat, you spoil me, man. All right, so if I'm looking at this pot here, guys, I'm saying this middle part I think is okay. You know, the middle part is okay. I give it like a good 5. The top, I think that rim, if you can see it from the top and that vortex on the inside, I think light hits it in a good way too. I'm gonna give that like a 5. That's a good 5. But this bottom part, look at these tendrils that are happening up here, right? And they're coming in and they're meeting each other. That interaction, that's what I think helps it take itself out of pottery and into sculpture. Oh no. YouTube thinks I'm away. Dang it, YouTube. No, I'm not away. Just making pots, bro. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Whoop. But that's what I think about that one, guys. I'm gonna turn that off. Dang it, I did it in the wrong order again. All right. I think that's actually all what I got for you guys today. So I'm gonna, camera A. Camera A. So I'm going to show you guys another commercial. I'm going to set up for the thumbnail, and then I'll see you guys in a second. How about I show you guys, I really like number 2, so I'm going to go Goated 2. Goated 2. There we go. Look at that. Guys, what an image that is. I really think that thumbnail right there, that's freaking killer. Look at that. These guys are, these pots are just partying with the guys in the back. I can't even be in this one. Wait, can I be in this one? Actually, I gotta be in this one, guys. What can I say? Sometimes I just can't. Okay, here we go. All right, where am I at? Big green. Oh, it's off again. Dang it. Wrong order again. I just made that mistake. That's okay. Oh no! Oh wait, how large am I though? I think I'm a giant. We'll see in a second. Oh yeah, I'm pretty big. You guys can't really hear the music, but I promise I'm dancing like some good tunes. But anyway, this is the pots for today. Let's see. Whoa, I almost fell. This is the pots for today, guys. I'd like, where's that? I like the one on the bottom, and actually the one in the middle. The drasticness of that twist right on this top part here, I think actually looks pretty nice. But anyway, thanks for watching. I always do this thing at the end of my videos where I say, all the best and strong mentality.